What's going on, everyone? What's up, YouTube? My name's Connor O'Toole. I go by Connor Unchained. We're going to be talking about an exit strategy when it comes to microcaps, when it comes to altcoins, and honestly, just when it comes to this entire market in general. This is something that a lot of people have asked me for, and I think it's very important to know and understand a good time to be getting out of these markets, a good time to be selling, and just taking profit and just not looking back from there. So right now we got Bitcoin up. Right now, it's up. What is it up today? I think like 1% maybe. It's behind my head. Yeah, just over 1%. So anyway, so I want to take this back to the last cycle. So I have a chart up here on Twitter as well. So this is about the last few cycles and when the halving actually hit. So bottom line, when it comes to selling, I focus on long-term holds. That's the gist of how I invest, whether it's in a micro cap, a mid cap, or a large cap. I'm investing into solid projects with teams that can deliver over the next few months to years. So that's how I invest. And when it comes to looking at this halving here, so we got the last halving from November in 2015, and it ran up to, I don't know, I actually have Bitcoin here. What am I doing? So let's see. It was November of 2015. So right around here is when the halving was. Let me mark this. November. It's a really good mark there. So that was when the halving hit. Am I bugging out? Oh no, so that is when I see, no, so this is months before the halving. So anyways, so the halvings are right here. What am I saying? July 9th, 2016 was the second halving. May 11th, 2020 was the third halving. So anyways, we're going to be talking about this cycle here, the last one. So in May 11th, 2020, let's get out of this one. I'm sorry about that. So May 11th, 2020 was right around here. So we're going to make a mark. So when it comes to investing in these coins, this is where we are right now in our cycle, okay? We are in between this, oh, wrong tool, but we are inside of this box here. In this whatever year to even upwards of 2 year phase of this market, this, looking down when we're down here, when we don't see the run, this is very volatile, So if you got in 2019, it was a big dump, went up, then COVID hit. It's crazy volatile when we're zooming in just on this area here. But when you zoom out, it honestly, like where your buys are, where you sell, anything in the like this area here, this lull phase before the halving, even right when the halving hits to a couple months out, the market is going to still sit kind of where it's at. It's until it really picks up is when we zoom out. Look how small this area is in which we got in at. We got in here. Say, I'm not actually, but like I'm just giving an example. If you got in anywhere, zoomed in, it's gonna look like, crazy losses or gains. If you bought here, went down this low, then came back up, and if you're holding your bag, you might have dropped 60, 70%, then came back up. But from there, it still went up and did a 10 to 20, 30, 40x. From those levels that at the time you thought were already super high or super low, and they still dropped way lower. So bottom line, what I'm trying to get at is I'm looking at this game from a time frame perspective to when I sell. So I'm not trying to sell in the short term by any means in these projects. This is why I find a lot of these projects because I want to find them very low with the potential to really outshine a lot of different projects in the market. And so what I want to be waiting for in this next bull run is going to be the same thing kind of that we got right here. So at the moment now, I'm not going to be really selling any coins or projects that I'm in because in my opinion, this same lull phase, like we're still a few months, I think around 5 months before the halving even begins. So we're in this same phase here. Let me get this out of here. Even though I think that's what's going to happen eventually. We're in the same lull phase before the takeoff. Because once this takes off, this is what the chart is going to look like. It's going to look like... Let me just get rid of this shit here. Do I think Bitcoin's going to blast off to like 300K? Like, by any means, no. Not at all. But seeing the chart here, we think it's very volatile at the moment, right? But again, the halving is expected to be somewhere around here, right? So the market's still got to do something like this. It's got to move, maybe play out, do something like this, into 2024. Well, actually, that's way off, but once the halving hits around 2024, the market is going to do what it does from now until then. It's still going to be a lull phase. So in this market, in this point in time, I'm still going to be holding the same projects, still going to be watching and looking for new undervalued ones. And honestly, getting into, even more solid projects, even if they're higher market cap, just going to be still searching around, still holding the same gems. Once the halving hits in the next 4, 5, 6 months, whenever it is, I have a feeling it's going to be in May, probably early May, this coming bull run. But again, there's going to be still a little bit of, upward potentially, but somewhat sideways movement before we eventually get that huge run up, and that is kind of what I'm waiting for and betting on. Because again, down here, it went from literal lull phase, like I've said, upwards of massive gains, And so let's just look at the time frame perspective of when the halving hit here. So let's say it was May. I don't care about the day, so just May 2020. That was right here. So May 2020 is when the halving happened in the last cycle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So about 6 months out from the halving is when price really started to get into new all-time highs, price discovery, before it really took off. So this is the same idea and the same similar time concept that I'm going to be looking at. And right here, this is why I'm buying now, because getting into the coins at these levels, no matter what the hell the market's doing, even if it dumps 50% right now, if you're just DCAing into projects, everything that you see here is going to look like a blip on this pixelated screen. It's going to look like minimal pixels in comparison to like this up here. And that is exactly why I'm doing what I do with long-term holding. So I'm selling from a long-term perspective based off the halving and based off the initial huge run-up that, it's never going to be guaranteed. We don't know what's going to happen fully. But that is what I'm betting on for this bull run to happen. And this is eventually when I will start to look to sell. If really good projects, say it has this initial pump, whatever, it takes about a month, month and a half, and Bitcoin is flying in the end of 2024, like next year from now. If the market is on fire, going in the green, if Bitcoin is finally, for some reason, in price discovery, which, I don't want to say Bitcoin's going to do something like this and just absolutely run, because I don't know. I don't know what Bitcoin's going to do. Like, I'm a bear in the market. I'd rather see price not go crazy insane and then be proven wrong than for me to project it going to 300K and then getting burned because it only goes to 100K. So I'm just projecting that after the halving, say let's right here. So if it was in April, let's say May 2024, June is 1 month, July is 2 months, August is 3 months, September is 4 months, October, and let's say November here. So November is like right there. So let's say it does something like this. So October, November. So November, for example, let's say it's pretty much back to all-time highs and people are FOMOing in, has a correction and just pumps into next year, March, April. The blow off top happens, hits like 80K. Let's just say for an example. And it tries one more time. This is Actually, that doesn't even track out here. April, May, June, July, August. Let's say like August, middle to end of 2025 is the peak of the market. So something like this. Maybe this one is going to be a big, big head and shoulder pattern. It's going to try again and just absolutely dump into 2026, 2027. Whatever the circumstances, this area here until the halving, which is right here, there's going to be minimal selling, bro. This is just accumulate, even at levels here. Because the selling is going to start when retail FOMO's in, when institutions FOMO in, when everyone starts talking about crypto again. That is when you have to even start thinking about selling. Because we are still so early in this market. No matter what coins are going to pump, we're still just a small blip in the investment space as far as new traders coming in is not really a thing right now. New investors, not many. It's just the same amount of people that have been trading crypto in this bear market right now. There's not a lot of new money flooding in yet. But that's kind of what we're waiting for. Is once all this new money starts to flow in, the market will take off in every way possible. And from there, that is when, again, I will start to look to sell, which is going to be, again, do I think this is going to happen with the chart? I don't know. Again, I'm just going to delete everything here. But let's say, for example, Bitcoin in January, February, it keeps running. March has a pullback. During the halving, it pulls back. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Let's say it does this. Let's say this is the bull run, which, I don't know. Let's say it barely even breaks past all-time highs again. But it's going to still be running into 2024, into 2025, this general time zone. When price is anywhere around its previous all-time highs or in price discovery, that is when you should start looking to sell. And that is when I'm personally going to be looking to actually sell out of my positions. So I hope that can give you guys just a broad perspective of how I look at selling, because a lot of people, the market's pumped, right? If you're more of a short-term trader or investor, you could have caught this swing, and a lot of projects are still up. If you got in here, a lot of micro caps are just pumped like crazy, over the last 2 months, even a month. And the thing is projects are still they're going to do well. They're going to perform well, and they're going to go up, and they're going to come right back down in the immediate short term. Price is going to do this and go down and go down. A lot of micro caps are up 3, 4, 5, 10x's, But then a lot of them will retrace. Like, for example, Adult Playground here. This is very, very early on with this project. But again, I rode this up. Or we did, if you guys got into it when I talked about it as well on the channel. This is done like a 3 to 5, upwards of, I think maybe a 6 or 7x actually, from when I got in, from when we talked about it. But I didn't sell a penny, bro, because that is not my strategy. Yeah, honestly, we could have made a ton here if I sold and then bought more. But you never know what the market is going to do. You don't know what it's going to pull. And I'm basing my strategy off the long-term halving of the cycle. Because once that halving hits, almost everything is going to be hitting new all-time highs and in price discovery. So you don't really have to worry about, in my opinion, you don't have to worry too much about any sort of major dips in the market right now. Any dips you can find, get in and DCA into the right projects and just hold it, bro. I'm telling you. It's the easiest way to play this market. Buy solid dips, just like Adult is at right now. It's beautiful dip. I'm actually probably going to DCA a little bit more. But just to give you guys a broad perspective of how I look to sell, how I'm aiming to sell in this market. Because I pretty much did what I'm talking about last bull run. I bought a lot of coins just, I'm going to show you guys where. It was literally just where I was showing you on Bitcoin. The last cycle, if I can zoom out. I remember seeing this during COVID. COVID crashed. This is where I started really learning about crypto, and I got into it. I had no idea about anything here. But, I got into Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin here. I think at like 13,000 was another buy. My first ETH was I bought around under $400, like $396. But I got into a lot of my coins here, some of them here, and a couple here. And what happened? Like, it was a lucky time to be in. But from there, right, dude, even if you bought here, you bought here, you bought the top, you bought the bottom here. Dude, at the end of the day, look what happened after the halving, after months after the halving. Things just took off because crypto as a narrative, whatever it is, took off. Right now there's no crypto narrative. It is half dead. It's only alive to people that are in tune with the space and what is happening like in the financial markets. Like the general public still don't give a fuck about crypto right now. But that's why it's very bullish to be in it at times right now. So that's all I got for you guys today. Just giving you guys a long-term investment perspective of how I plan on holding most of my coins, if not all of them, throughout this whole bull run. And that's why I look for long-term projects. So that's all I got for you guys today, and I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.